Namaskar. Yesterday was a very eventful day in the Bay Area. First of all, let me define what Bay Area is for those of you who may not know. Well, this is what is loosely also called as Silicon Valley, although only some parts of the Bay Area would form the Silicon Valley. And the Bay Area, you can think of it like an oval-shaped structure of land, which is about 30 kilometers wide and about 600 kilometers long. It's a big land because it rings the bay, which is where the water comes in from the Pacific. If you know, like Golden Gate Bridge, for example, is a place from where the link happens between the bay that is inside and the Pacific Ocean outside. So this area, the whole thing is called the Silicon Valley. The valley because the area is between sea and hills and mountains, and that strip is about 30 to 20 kilometers wide at different places. So because it forms a valley, it also is pretty high, and the salty air doesn't come in. So this is one of the best places to live in the Californian state. So this is just the area, that is the Bay Area. Inside Bay Area, there's a smaller section called the Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley would be area which is around San Jose, which is in the southern part of this bay, and around that a few cities which comprise what I would loosely call as Silicon Valley. There's no official definition of Silicon Valley. San Jose is considered the capital of Silicon Valley because there are so many companies that have been incorporated here, and they have gone on to become multi-billion-dollar, even trillion-dollar companies. So all this stuff is being said to just set the stage for you to understand why this has become important. Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, who represents the state of Illinois, was here yesterday because he is weighing a Senate run. The first thing that he needs to do is to win the Democratic primary, and after that he would probably have to stand against a Republican candidate and then win that in order to get to the Senate. If he wins, he would be the first Indian American senator ever to represent the Indian American community, which is around between 4.5 million, that is 45 lakhs, to 5 million, which is 50 lakhs, all over the country. Of that, I would say about 25%, 1 in 4, live in this Bay Area. And there are, I would say, loose count, over 100 temples. And what we have been noticing is that these temples have been targeted, they've been vandalized. Sometimes the cash register, the hundi has been robbed. They even took away sometimes the whole hundi because they couldn't break it open right inside the temple. They do a lot of other things. So these have been the norm ever since the wink wink nod nod policy of the Biden administration in allowing a free rein to some mischief makers. In fact, these mischief makers have created problems for the Sikh community more than even the Hindu community, I would say. I'll come to that in just a moment, but let's just focus back on vandalism on Hindu temples. You know how in the East Coast there was a Swaminarayan temple that was being built, if I remember correctly, in the state of New Jersey, where some allegations were brought up and saying that people were being underpaid to come and work there, basically implying slave labor, and the temple had to fight back that case in the court, and it was proved that the whole thing was made up. So you have the Khalistani lumpens on one side, you also have the Dravidias. These are all pseudos because they have never even lived for a day in Tamil Nadu, but they have been hyped up because somebody is funding, and this funding has been happening for a long time now. Unfortunately, now there are so many diverse ways in which they get funding that they have also become a menace. What needs to happen is that the law enforcement of all these various cities that form the Silicon Valley, they need to be on the alert and they need to act. How has the response been? Pathetic. 99% of the time, the cases, the vandalism, everything is reported to them using the CCTV cameras that all these temples have. Yet nobody has been caught, to the best of my knowledge. I hope I'm wrong on this and that some people have indeed been caught. Be that as it may, what has been happening is these vandalisms have also started becoming more sophisticated. Initially, what used to happen was that there would be drive-by night. They would throw eggs on the wall, or they would damage some structure, outside structure, for example. That used to be the first case. This was in the night when they thought that CCTVs will not be able to pick up who is doing it. Then what had happened was they got bolder. Then what happened was they would come in, they would write graffiti. Most of the time the graffiti would be written anti-India, anti-Modi, anti-Hindu, and then they would escape. And many of the volunteers in these temples would then come with buckets and water and brushes and clean that out. This used to be happening. But now a new, more sophisticated way of vandalism has started, and this is what was brought to the attention of Congressman Raja Krishnmoorthi. He came and visited one such temple called the Shiva-Durga Temple in the city of Santa Clara. And I'm going to show you a couple of videos. The first video, the temple committee members are explaining how the vandalism is happening, and then the response of Congressman Raja Krishnmoorthi. Let's first take a look at, yeah, go ahead.
And then it's just like, I don't know.
So I think we are being targeted.
Volume is not high.
Because of the money, because of the 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝙪, a lot of people, devotees come with a lot of money. The 𝗔𝗠𝗘𝗏 sector is there. So it's an easy pick for it.
Okay.
And sometimes they come as devotees, they just scout the place, they see the place, and then they come back at this. So apparently the people who came looks like they knew what they were supposed to do.
So this was, do we think that this was an economic?
Economic plus,
It could be. But also, there's repeated attacks on Hindu temples.
That's true. Absolutely.
So is this the window?
Yeah, this
They
is
broken?
Okay, door. This is main door.
glass door.
And then we also feel because of the laws are not that strong, because people, they don't have fear of, because even if they are caught, nothing might happen to them.
Okay.
So I think that's what also driving them, because what happened to the jewelry shop, they just ram a car into that in the broad daylight, just took all the jewelry and just ran away. Nothing happened to them.
Oh my God.
So there's a cycle happening in
Cycle
the area.
happening,
Like first they targeted temples in 2023, all the temples were targeted. Then they came to jewelry stores. All the jewelry stores in the area have been targeted, and now again the temple is targeted. So it looks like there's a cycle happening.
I'm sorry, the audio is not the best quality. I just want to explain to you a little bit. So what we are standing is the entrance to this temple, and you can see the white sheet of paper that is covering. Can we stop that, please? Yeah. You can see the white sheet of paper covering what used to be the glass entrance of the door. They broke that. But that is not the part. The thing that he's explaining, I don't know how many of you picked it up. What he's saying is now many of these miscreants are coming in disguised as devotees. And then they kind of mark the place, and then they come in, and then they find out that where things are, and then they do away with valuables.
It's just like, I don't know.
So I think we are being targeted in the area because of the money, because of the 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝙪, a lot of people, devotees come with a lot of money. The 𝗔𝗠𝗘𝗏 sector is there. So it's an easy pick for it.
Okay.
And sometimes they come as devotees, they just scout the place, they see the place, and then they come back at this. So apparently the people who came looks like they knew what they were supposed to do.
So this was, do we think that this was an economic?
Economic plus,
It could be. But also, there's repeated attacks on Hindu temples.
That's true. Absolutely.
So is this the window?
Yeah, this
They
is
broken?
Okay, door. This is main door.
glass door.
And then we also feel because of the laws are not that strong, because people, they don't have fear of, because even if they are caught, nothing might happen to them. So I think that's what also driving them, because what happened to the jewelry shop, they just ram a car into that in the broad daylight, just took all the jewelry and just ran away. Nothing happened to them.
Oh my God.
So there's a cycle happening in the area.
Happening,
Like first they targeted temples in 2023, all the temples were targeted. Then they came to jewelry stores. All the jewelry stores in the area have been targeted, and now again the temple is targeted. So it looks like there's a cycle happening because of the money.
Okay, so I apologize again. We tried to give you a slightly louder audio, but somehow the audio is cracking quite a bit. Basically, what it is that people are now becoming more evolved, more sophisticated in attacking these temples. And Congressman Raja Krishnmoorthi himself addressed in his speech after that, and we're going to take a look at that. That I think is clearer. Let's take a look at that.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for those very, very eloquent words. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. It's very important for all of us. This is a time of new beginnings, right? We overcome any obstacles in our way as we chart our course on a new journey, especially for our young people who are about to embark on a new school year. This is very important as well. And of course, for all of us, we are always taking new journeys and starting new endeavors. And so this is an important part of the year for all of us. I just want to say very quickly two things. One, I stand with you as you go through this very challenging time. Unfortunately, a lot of different mandirs have been attacked, have been vandalized in this area in the last several years. And so I've tried to do everything I can to highlight this particular situation and do something about it in Washington, D.C. In the last administration, the Department of Justice, for the first time, embarked on kind of Hindu educational awareness. And I'm hopeful that the current administration will build upon those efforts. The second thing I would say is we stand with you. We stand with you as you go through your challenges. And whatever we can do, we will do. Whether it has to do with vandalism or hate, or whether it has to do with an economic crime or both. We have to make sure that people can worship in peace. It doesn't matter what religion they belong to. They should be able to worship in peace and security and safety, because at the end of the day, the sacred nature of these spaces is what offers the comfort that people seek when they come to these sanctuaries. And we have to make sure they remain safe spaces. So I will do everything in my power to help with that endeavor, and I will work with your local representatives also. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to visit you, and whatever I can do, I will do it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Namaste.
So he has actually helped in the past, even when the Biden administration was in effect. He's a Democrat, remember? And he has actually returned to the Department of Justice. He has also returned to the Secretary of State. He's expressed his horror at the treatment of Hindus in Bangladesh. So Congressman Raja has been a champion of Hindu values. He is himself a practicing Hindu. And what I'm trying to say is he has also limitations on how much he can do. What needs to be happening is in every district, every state where this happens, the local congressman, the local senator needs to be made aware of what is going on. Unless 5 or 6 states and 10 or 12 congressmen / senators come together and start making this an issue, I'm afraid this is not going to have a quick resolution. By the way, this is just the Hindu temples where people are coming in and doing this more advanced level of vandalism. What is happening to Gurudwaras? See, what has happened is you know that I've said this thing in the past also, that many driver on these big container trucks, these happen to be from the Sikh community, and because you don't need to, you need to pass some exams and then you are ready to do this, and this is a fairly well-paying job, and this is not just in US but also in Canada. Now, what is happening is these have been misused and abused to move drugs, and drug money is being also used allegedly to campaign all these movements. And this is a wink, wink, nod, nod system. I've also told you about on July 3rd, 2023. Now it's more than 2 years. that the Indian consulate building was set on fire, and not one arrest has been made in connection with that even today. Now, let's take a little bit more a deeper look at what is happening to the moderate Sikhs, the regular Sikhs who want to go to their Gurudwaras. What has happened is this money muscle has enabled some of these Gurudwaras to be captured by these elements, extremist elements, and this is essentially becoming harder and harder for the regular Sikh who wants to, especially on a Sunday like today. I have a Gurudwara near me, which is probably the biggest Gurudwara in the whole of North America. By 12 noon, there will be not even moving room on those streets, because everybody is parking their cars, walking long distances to get to the Gurudwara, offer their prayers and go out. And you all know langars distribute free food. There are a lot of people who come for that too. These might not be all Sikhs. It's a very welcoming community. What they are facing now, I'm told, is that some places that are so extremist filled inside the Gurudwaras that they don't even go there anymore. They instead go to Hindu temples to seek spiritualism. See, this is nothing. After all, we remember that Sikhs are Veer Hindus. It's a different matter that some have tried to twist this thing out of context, and they keep saying that we are not Hindus. No. I mean, look at what 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏 used to say. Who did he worship? And I mean, this is just one example. There are many, many such instances. All the sacred symbols of Hinduism are there in Sikhism also. In the Guru Granth Sahib, you will see swastika. My point in trying to make all this is these are all us, and we need to be able to sift the grain from the chaff, and we need to give some time. At the same time, we have to be at it. Be disciplined, take copious amount of videos, submit that as evidence, and action will happen. This is what happened in Leicester. I did a video, I think last week or the week before that, on how things have turned around for the Hindu community in the city of Leicester in United Kingdom. So that's all I have. Is there any questions? I'd like to take them now, but otherwise I don't see any questions. That's all we have. Let's talk and meet. Okay. Use ADT security systems, or even lower. Oh, they have a lot more sophisticated stuff than this, and that is already there. The evidence is there that they have wisened up, because this is just a one-time investment of $200-300 to get all these sophisticated multi-cameras. Even some of them are infrared equipped, which means even in darkness they can get clear pictures of the vandal. So all that is already happening. But remember that these are not fortified places. These are usually, buildings converted into mandirs. So it's on the strip malls, like small clump of shops, and one of them will be a mandir. So that is the typical thing for you. So it's a work in progress, I would say. At the same time, if all the mandirs and all the bhakts come and start organizing and showing the evidence, I think these things will start coming down. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.